I have rated this content E for everyone. Hello Internet, welcome back to the Digital Age Monster Club. My name is Mark and this is Minecraft Monday. And today's video is going to be about the Nether. So first things first, getting to Nether. Just heard a spider, I thought. No, I did hear a spider. Probably believe me. First things first, to get to Nether you need a portal. Now, typical portal is going to be 14 blocks of obsidian. 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top, and then 3 blocks in between to create a 2x3 rectangle. Then you use flint and steel, which is a piece of graphite and iron, an iron ingot on a diagonal from each other, and you light the inside of it on fire, and that will open the portal. Now, just to prove a point here, you don't need the corners to make the portal work. So you can actually do it with 10, which is known as an economy style portal. And you can still get into the Nether. So, once in the Nether, there's a bunch of fun things to do. Biggest recommendation for going to Nether: 1, have some enchanted armor that resists fire, because there's a lot of lava, there's a lot of active fire, and there's a creature known as the Ghast, which spits fireballs at you. And there's also a creature known as the Blaze Rod, which spits fire at you. So being able to lessen the amount of fire damage that you take as soon as you get in, very helpful. Secondly, a clock and a compass have no purpose here. You don't need to bring them in, because they just don't work. And then, for a map, same deal. Do, however, bring a flint and steel in case the portal gets deactivated. That way, you can reopen it and get back through. Recommendation is that if it's in an area that is very exposed, build around the portal to keep it from at least on one side. Getting very choppy right here. The game's trying to load in a ton of lava because I didn't have any of this rendered before I even came in. So I backed up the side of the portal to keep it from deactivating, because a gas fireball will deactivate it if it hits it straight on. That's the easy part. You don't really need torches. I still bring them along. Whoop! What? I didn't. My game's just being dumb. And that's the sound of a ghast right there. Let's see. Give me this and that. There's an achievement for hitting a ghast fireball back at it. And one of the best ways to do that is to shoot an arrow at the fireball as it comes to you. There it is. That's a ghast. Oh, that's right, I'm creative. It doesn't aggro against me. So, ghast drop ghast tears, which are used in brewing. Very useful. As for other creatures, I think I saw one over here. Yep, I'm with you. We'll talk about this guy right here. Zombie pigmen. They are actually, despite carrying a gold sword and being part zombie, they're not hostile towards you until you attack it. And if I was in survival mode, every zombie in a certain radius will swarm you. They will all just aggro on you, which is what makes them really dangerous. So best way of dealing with that is to corridor them, or hallway them, however you want to say it, where you basically funnel them into a small area so their numbers don't have any kind of advantage over you. So basically something like this. If they came at you 40 at a time, but try to get through here, they'd have to do it one at a time. Now, you'd still need to block and attack and heal a lot, but you wouldn't be getting hit from all sides. And zombie pigmen drop gold nuggets, which is actually a great way of getting gold, just in general. And then, did he just disappear? There was a magma cube bouncing around. Okay. The Nether also is a great way of picking up mushrooms. What the heck? I'm just trying it. So you got those mushrooms and the spotted mushrooms, I call them, which is actually, find them in here. Nope, that's gotta be decoration. Yeah, here we go. Red mushrooms and brown mushrooms. So pretty basic. And as I find more enemies, I'll explain them to you. Now, another great thing, there's a awesome decoration block known as Nether quartz. So, Nether quartz ore, correction. And with that, you get... We should have a search feature. Nether quartz. Nether quartz can be turned into Nether quartz blocks. Aga quartz, and those can be changed into different forms. Quartz pillars, quartz stairs, chiseled quartz blocks. They're actually very pretty. They don't... When last time I looked at it, that I was using them, they don't really have any practical applications. Glowstone here, on the other hand, this is some great stuff. It is a passive light source, like a torch, but it's actually brighter than a torch, and it reaches farther range, I believe. So if you break these, they drop glowstone dust, and 4 glowstone dust in a square creates the same block. Now if you're going to break a lot of these, I suggest getting a tool like a pickaxe that has fortune on it, because it will drop more glowstone than it should, and you get a better benefit out of it. And typically these will be hanging off the ceiling. So as you can see, right there, right there, right out there, over there, it's always hanging from the ceiling. And glowstone blocks are really great if you're tired of putting out torches. They function underwater. Yes, function underwater. I thought there was something else. I'm drawing a blank. But very useful. As for this, you have regular netherrack right here. I'll get to the blaze in a second. Netherrack doesn't really have a big purpose. The thing you can do with it is you can cook it and get nether bricks, and then you can use nether bricks to make this stuff, nether brick blocks. Nether brick, yeah. You cook netherrack to make nether brick. Form nether brick to make... Where the heck did it go? Like a slab. There you go, nether bricks. It's a brick block. And then you can make these kind of creations. Now, Blaze! I hate these guys so much. So killing a blaze will give you a blaze rod, which is a necessary part for enchanting mana. Quiet the area down. You're gonna, if you want to do enchanting, you unfortunately are forced to go into Nether to get blaze rods from blazes, and that's the biggest reason you're gonna want the fire protection enchantment, because those things spawn in packs, basically, and it is ridiculously annoying to deal with them. And blaze rod can be broken down into blaze powder, which should be used in enchanting itself. And then, but they only spawn in nether fortresses. Nether fortresses, which is this structure, which is all nether brick stuff, all nether brick decorations. So it's gonna, they stand out in the environment. And they typically spawn like the same as strongholds or ocean temples or that kind of stuff, which is like 800 blocks away from your starting point. So, and then, whoop, how about that? Inside nether fortresses, you can find chests of goodies. So that's always something to look forward to. I'm trying to find a magma cube. You can find, it should be like horse armor. I think you can find wither skulls in them. I'm not sure. You might be able to find other monster drop items like gas tears. You should be able to find nether wart in it. Alright. This one goes right into the nether rack. They did a huge update this last time I was on another. But there's also, I'm trying to if I can find it. There's another chest. Yep, horse armor, gold ingot, gold weaponry. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. Nether fortress is actually a good spot to find. This is nether wart. Whoop. And it grows on soul sand. And soul sand can be dug up with a shovel. Soul sand has an interesting property. If you step on it, it slows you by like 30% or something. But you can bring soul sand back into the overworld, and you can just put it down on the ground, and it works the exact same as it does in the nether. And that way, and using that, you can grow nether warts in the way that this is. So this is basically like a small farm. So you can have a farm of nether wart, which is a big component of enchanting. Okay. And let's see. What else is up here? Okay. Now, I don't know what the purpose was to it, but it's a very good baseline for knowing how far up or down you are in the nether. They added in a layer of gravel for the... It doesn't go through the entire structure of the level, but it goes on the like outside edge of the... everything that's exposed to air, basically, is how I'll say it. So if it's above you, then you're below, I guess it's called sea level. And if you're above it, then you're above sea level. I can think of that. One other thing I forgot to mention, but is very good. Where is that portal? Here we go. When you spawn into the Nether on PC, press F3 and take a look at your XYZ coordinates. You're going to be pretty close to 0, 0, but it's always a good idea to make sure that you're within that range, because sometimes you can get blocked off by just the way the world loads, so that it'll like wall you off, not as in like an actual wall, but there'll be like so let's say this part right here was still netherrack, but this whole area over here was open. Well, I'm pretty close to 0, 0, but I don't see my portal. Well, getting the exact coordinates is very helpful for that. That's happened to me on 2 occasions I can remember. I was quite annoyed when I figured it out later. So now, let's see. There's not too much left for the Nether. This is way. I make this look a lot easier because it's in creative mode and not survival. Big things to keep in mind. Oh yes, a bucket of water. Doesn't work. If you get set on fire, good luck. If you jump into lava by accident, I hope you have close to full health, because it's going to burn for a while. It just has to go out on its own. But yeah, there are no water source works in the Nether unless you've modded the game. The original versions did. The original versions of the Nether had that, but that was patched out like 4 or 5 years ago. Been a long time since then. So be very careful about getting near lava. And then this is kind of what the landscape will look like if you fight a ghast but are not getting his fireballs back directly at the ghast. Because when they hit netherrack, they explode, and I forgot to mention this when I started, netherrack itself can be set on fire. So, get rid of this stuff. There you go. So if you want to pretty up your base and like a campfire or something with an actual fire going, that's not just burning up actual disappearing blocks, use netherrack. Let's see, what else is there? I need to find a magma cube and wither skeletons, but I need them to actually spawn in. Wither skeletons are supposed to spawn in a nether fortress. Magma cubes are supposed to spawn just about anywhere. Oh, and do keep in mind that active lava, the fluid itself can spawn mini fireballs that will set the ground on fire. so you don't have to be near gas. Oh, here. This is cool. You can find these if you're lucky enough. It acts kind of like the gravel, but it's just call it a field of soul sand. So if you want to collect a lot of soul sand for some reason, this is a good way of doing that. If you can find one of these. And then down here. So this is a fairly new addition. Dried lava blocks. You should be able to pick these up. Magma blocks, there we go. Sorry, you should be able to pick those up with Silk Touch. And I believe they act mostly as just a kind of like goldstone. But if you break them, it just becomes a regular lava block. So you can also use it for like that. Now, finally, this is a magma cube. It acts just like a slime cube. Yes. Stay out of lava. Jumps around. It deals damage on contact, regardless of what size it is. And it drops magma cream, which can be used in enchanting. So that's one of the big. That's actually the biggest reason to go to the Nether is for enchanting, collecting enchanting resources. So there's that. Yeah, but even the small ones can deal damage because it's technically on fire. And we can walk around for 8 hours and never find another Nether fortress. But, yeah, those are the big things. Yeah, wither skeletons spawn in Nether fortresses. And these guys are tricky for one big reason. They have an effect which is called wither, which basically acts like poison, except it will kill you. So they look like just black skeletons. They drop bone. They can drop stone swords, which they're carrying. The biggest reason that you would want to kill them is that they have a like 1 in 1,000 drop chance of dropping a wither skeleton head, which is used to spawn the wither, which is like the hidden boss of the game, basically. That thing is super powerful unless you find a way to cheese it out, or cheese its death. The last time I tried doing that was like 4 years ago. So yeah, they drop stone swords, they drop coal, forgot about that. Plenty of bone. But yeah, the wither heads are a extremely low drop rate, like 1 in 1,000. So it's gonna take a while to grind it, and you need 3 wither skeleton heads to spawn the wither, along with 4 soul sand blocks. So yeah, that's the big stuff for the Nether. And by the way, mining nether quartz ore gives experience. When you mine it, it just becomes a nether quartz. It doesn't stay as the ore unless you're using Silk Touch. And then I think there was something else. I'm trying to remember. It's always weird. Every time I go into these tutorial videos, I have so much information I want to say, and I forget a lot of it. There is a I was not aware that they put Endermen into the Nether. That's either a glitch or something new. Huh. interesting. Sorry. There's... Let's see if I can find it. In Nether, there is a... Oh, crap. A height... Yeah, here we go. A height and depth limit, and unless they patched it out or edited, there's also a... No, they definitely patched that one out. There's a size limit to... No, sorry. Let me say that again. If you go up, you're going to reach bedrock. If you manage to go down far enough, you're going to reach bedrock. But left, right, front, back, cardinal directions, there's no... They've made it procedurally generated, so you're fine. In original versions of the game, they had the Nether was like in a 400 by 400 block radius. That was a beta, I think. It was to make sure that the engine could run all the lava blocks and glowstone and block source and all that's just all the detail of it without slowing massively. But if you're not sure about where you are, if you dig up far enough or dig down far enough, you're gonna find bedrock at some point. So there's basically like sometimes you'll find like a massive like surface structure, I guess I'll call it, where you've got netherrack going from the ceiling to the floor, and it's just you can look around, but there's no empty space like this is. And if you're not using F3 at all, you want to figure out where you are. You can just dig straight up or dig straight down. Well, try and do that on angles so that you don't accidentally find lava and kill yourself. But you can go up and go down until you find bedrock, and then you'll know where you are and where you need to go to get back to the sandstone gravel layer. Which is a good basis for figuring out how to get back to your portal. But that's the Nether in a nutshell. I always get anxious going to the Nether. Just I'm not used to creative mode, honestly. So every time I hear the monster noises, I'm just like, oh, better get ready for a fight. But, oh yeah, and zombie pigmen do have baby zombie pigmen, and they act just like the adults do, same drops and stuff. Yeah. But that's it. But again, fire protection enchantment, highly recommended. Blast protection isn't really going to do you any good here. Unless you're just facing down only gas, in which case the explosion from their fireballs. But yeah, so gas drop gas tier, blaze rod drop blazes drop blaze rod, wither skeletons drop wither skeleton head, magma cubes drop magma cream, and then inside nether fortresses you can find the nether wart on soul sand. You can grow those. It works just like weeds and potatoes and carrots and foodstuffs. And then, except for the wither skeleton heads, the rest of those items are used for enchanting, which will be in the next video. So, or not enchanting, brewing. I hate words. Hate my mind too. So, that will do it. Oh, correction. Glowstone can also be used in brewing. I'll talk about that in my brewing video, but yeah, if you needed a good reason to go after glowstone, it's for brewing. But yeah, that's it for real this time. So, thank you for joining me, and I hope you found this one informative as well, this video, I mean. And I hope you come back for more. But until that happens, take care.